Emostel.
Hello, you're welcome to this video. This is still Emmanuel Kadiri. Alright, and in this video, in that series of MTH101, we are going to be talking about the rules, the basic rules for set representation. Okay, alright, so we've been discussing set in the past two videos. Now, in this particular video, we just want to talk about some things that you just need to understand concerning how sets are being represented. All right, it doesn't matter whether this is a topic worth making a video on or not, but the thing is that even as ignorable as it is, questions could be set from it, and then you'll just be wondering, okay, how? All right, so question or no question, it's just good to know everything about everything. Let's go on. Now, rules. Rule number one is that every set must have a title. Every set must have a title. Okay, it must have something that you can use to locate it or to describe the set, or not describe, but something that you can use to identify the set. Okay, so most of the time, the title of a set is usually written in capital letter, just a single capital letter, and then it represents the set, so that you can always use that title to make reference to the set at any time. All right, so you can say A, set A. All right, so this A represents a set. You can have set B, another set. You get it now, and that. So number two, that is, the elements of a set are written in between braces, which is very true. If set A has let's say elements 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. All the elements of a set, that is the members of that set, okay? If you want to itemize them like in tabular form like this, you must always keep them in braces. Even though it is not in tabular form, if it is in set builders form, it also must be written in braces. All right, so this thing alone mathematically tells us that we are dealing with a set, even if it is not explicitly stated. All right, now, number two is that each element is separated by a comma, and as you have seen me do here, even if it is a single set, all right, you write it like, even if it's a singleton set, that is a set that has only one element, let's say 2, okay, you must write it in between braces, even though it is a set that has only one member. That brace is very important to tell anyone that you are dealing with a set. You don't use another kind of bracket. You don't say A is equal to square brackets 2, 4, 6 like this. No, it is wrong, very wrong. Okay, you don't say A is equal to this one 2, 4, 6. It is actually wrong. If you do like this, you are talking about something else in mathematics. You are probably describing a plane that has, you are just probably describing a graph or a point that is a 3D point, a 3-dimensional point, made of X is 2, Y is 4, and Z is 6. Do you understand now? So anything you do in mathematics, like all of these brackets have what they work for. The one that is dedicated to set is the called bracket. You get that? So this one is also wrong for a set. This is wrong for a set. This one would mean interval. We are still coming to that topic. This is an interval. This is like a point, and then this is a set. All of them have their meaning, their significance. Now, point number three is that each element is separated by a comma. All right. So every member of a set you must put a comma at the end. Very important. And then one thing is that you don't put full stop. You don't say because you have put all these things as comma, you want to put a full stop at the end. Okay? So it is very wrong. You could have a question that is set for you, and then they will just like, which of the following represents a set? And then you can say, you can have something like this. A, you write 2, 4, 6. And then B, something like this. 2, 4, like this, or maybe C, something like this, 2, 4, 6, or maybe D, something like this, 2, 4, 6. And then, so based on what you've learned so far before you go to this point, you can easily understand that this one is not a set. Why? Because it has a point, a decimal point. Then you understand that this one is not a set because one bracket is brace and the other one is like an interval kind of. You get it now? Then the third one is not a set, although everything is separated with comma, no full stop, but you are using square brackets instead of braces. And then option D, this one is a set because it follows all the rules, all the applicable rules. You get it now? Because you separate each element with a comma, you didn't put full stop at the back of the last element, and then you kept them within braces. You get that? So that is how it works. It is because of stuff like these, you know, so you don't get confused. That is why this kind of topic is created specially to address this kind of thing. Okay? Okay, good. Now, number 5. It says the order of arrangement does not matter. So even if I say set A is equal to 2, 4, 6, and I say set B is 4, 2, and 6, it does not matter. It means that, like this, set A is equal to set B. So the order of arrangement does not matter, whether you put 2, 4, 6 or 4, 2, 6, in as much as the elements inside of them, it is the presence of the elements that matter. The arrangement of the elements does not matter. So if you and I are in the same class, we belong to the same set, and then today you sat down at the front, I sat at the middle, and then tomorrow I decided to sit down at the back, and then you sit at the middle or at the front or anywhere. Okay, it doesn't mean that because the seats have changed, then we no longer belong to that set. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So the order of arrangement does not matter. It doesn't matter whether you put 2 before 4, 4 before 6. What matters is the presence of the elements. Okay. So this information is also very important when you are talking about equality of sets. Like I just did in this example now, set A is 2, 4, 6, set B is 4, 2, 6, and then it shows that A is equal to B. Because you might have a question that has some kind of options and they will say, which of the following represent equal sets? Anything like that, okay? So that is how it goes. Then number 6, no repetition of elements. Under no circumstance should any element be repeated. This rule is very important, especially when you are dealing with union of sets. Okay, and then if you have a question like this, now they could even make something like this. This option B could be something like this. Just say 2, 2, 3, 5, like this. Just because we have 2 times, it disqualifies it from being a set. So we don't repeat elements in a set. It's forbidden. Okay? So even if I am a twin and we both belong to the same class, we are still different individuals. We still have different characteristics. Okay? And our thumbprint is still different. So every element in a set must be unique. They must be unique. You don't have the same element appearing more than once. Okay? All right. So for instance, when we are dealing with union of sets talks about combining the elements of 2 sets into one. So if I have A is equal to 2, 4, 6, and I have B is equal to 1, 3, and 5. Okay, and then the question says, find A union B. A union B means I am looking for, I want to combine all the elements inside set A and set B into one set. So I will just say A union B is equal to 1 is here. Okay, sorry. Let's say this one is like 1, 2, 5, 6. All right, it's good. So A union B. Okay, there is 1 here. There is no 1 here. You can say 1. There is 2 here and there is 2 here. It is only a single 2. You will write. Okay, there is 4 here. No other number like 4. So you write. There is 5 here. 5 is not here. But there is 6 here and there is also 6 here. So it is only 1, 6 you write. And so that is how it goes. So A union B will be 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. You see that? So it is very important for you to take note of all these rules because it's applicable across all spheres of set theory. And so that makes it the end of this video. Please, I would see you in the next video. But before then, don't forget this. Learn, understand, practice what you learn, and then you excel. Bye.